So hey, I had a photo shoot the other day, and I found myself shooting with the Sony 135G Master, and I was thinking to myself like, hey, I really like shooting with this lens. I wonder if people care about why I like shooting with it. And I said, of course they care. So I'm going to tell you guys why shooting with the 135 F1.8 is my second favorite thing to shoot with. But before I do that, here is some video that I recorded with this lens. You're welcome. All right, so I'm Jamil. This is a boy named Jamil. Thanks for being here. Let's try to make this short. I think we should probably get into a couple specs. It's not a light lens, but it's also not a heavy lens. When you compare it to its counterparts, it's right in the middle. It's heavier than the Canon, but it is lighter than the Nikon. It's definitely lighter than the Sigma, but the Sigma wasn't made for the Sony E-mount system. It's just an adapter that they built into it. Stop comparing it to the Sigma. The Sigma isn't as good. It wasn't built for the system. Let's move on. Oh, and because I know that some people's going to bring up the Rokinon lens, let's have a baseline. For people who are beginners or for people who are, very excited like hobbyists, the Rokinon makes a lot of sense. But for people who are professionals, I just don't think that it makes a lot of sense. There is a lot of quality of life issues with the Rokinon lens that I just don't think that people want to deal with. I think most importantly, the Rokinon lens just isn't reliable. And so that's why we're not going to talk about it anymore in this video. We're just not going to do it. I hope I'm not offending anybody, but it's just not for me. So, other specs that we should talk about. It is a 4-year-old lens. It's a 5-year-old lens. I have been using it for 4 years, and a lot of people might ask, "Oh, is it still a good lens to buy today in 2024?" Well, let me tell you this: it has the same focusing, the same dual focusing, the same dual linear focusing system of all of the lenses that Sony is still releasing today. In fact, Sony's newest prime lens, the 50mm 1.4 G Master, has the same dual linear focusing system as the 135 G Master. Still has the same aperture ring, still has the same focus hold button, still has the same switches, still built from the same material. In fact, it's still it's still great. So no, the 135 has not aged itself out. And so yeah, I would probably still buy this lens in 2024. Would I pay full price for it? Yes, I would pay full price for it. But the good news is that you can probably find this lens for a pretty good price used, especially if you don't go for like a like new option. So that's specs. The only other thing to talk about is I don't know, aperture blades if you're into some stuff like that, but I'm not. Um, I realized that in the photo shoot that I did yesterday, I didn't take a lot of A roll of that shoot just because we were in a public place and they were playing a lot of popular music that Universal Music Group might give me strikes for, and I don't want any strikes. I'm still trying to get 4,000 views. That's not right. I'm still trying to get 4,000 watch hours, so I don't want any strikes, so I wasn't able to get any A-roll. And I do want to show you guys how this lens performs still today in 2024. So what I did was I put my Atomos Ninja recorder on my A7R4. I hired a stunt driver and I shot some stunt driving. And so I want to show you guys that footage right now. All right, you guys. So all that footage that I took yesterday while I was shooting the twins, I realized that you guys can't really see what I'm seeing. You guys can't see the EVF. And so what I did was I rigged up the R4 with the Atomos recorder. I'm only using this just to have power to it because my Sony LP batteries aren't charged. Anyway, but so I'm gonna record the viewfinder so you guys can see just how well this lens actually still holds up with those dual linear motors after 5 years. And so I know what you guys like. You guys like high octane action. So I've employed a stunt driver with a pretty fast car. And we're gonna get some test shots, all right? So I wanna introduce you guys to our stunt driver. There he is. Eli, say hi, bud. So we're gonna have Eli coming down that ramp, and then we're gonna get some shots with the 135, and I'm gonna record that screen, and then you guys are gonna be able to see it in action because yeah, we're gonna have some fun. All right, I'm gonna move this. Eli's gonna get ready to go, and we're gonna get some shots. All right, 3, 2, 1, go!
I'll see the camera.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Hit the wall.
Take 2. All right, so what you guys are seeing, boys and girls, is Layla being filmed on the 135 on the A7. I'm sorry, Aria. You guys are seeing Aria being filmed on the A7 IV with the 135. And what I have done is I have enabled tracking. So because these linear motors are doing such a good job, I'm gonna have Eli, go over there. But stay on this side, okay? Just walk down the path. I'm gonna have Eli. All right, bud, stop right there. And now just walk from that side to this side. I'm gonna have Eli walk across. And if the motors are behaving as they should, the tracking should stay locked on Aria.
Okay,
all right, bud. Go ahead, just walk across.
Yeah, look. Eli, look.
And there we go. So there was a little bit of separation there. But as you guys saw, the 135 found the eye of Aria really quickly, and yeah, now we're back to recording. If you made it this far in the video, tell me that you liked my Star Wars mug. Anyway, I really want to get into this shoot that I had yesterday. I hope you guys liked all of that footage from the screen recorder and the stunt driver. We worked hard on that, and I hope that you benefited from seeing that footage. But I do want to get into the shoot that I had the other day. I want to show you guys some video that I shot with the 135, and then I want to talk about some photos. But before we do that, I want to give my thoughts on what I think a version 2 of the 135 G Master would look like. As I said, it's still working with a lot of the newest technology that Sony is still putting into their new G Master Primes, except for the fact that everything is getting smaller and lighter. So I would like to see Sony find a way to make the G Master smaller, maybe lighter the same way that they did with the 70 to 200. So I think that would probably be the first thing that they could change with a version 2. The second thing that they could change with a version 2 is they could make the focusing motors match the focusing motors on the 50mm 1.2. So instead of dual focusing motor, you would have quad focusing motors. And I think that that would be just because, as you guys saw, that 135 already performs. And I just think with 2 more linear focusing motors, it would just be lightning fast. And then the last change is I would like to see maybe a 1.4 or a 1.2, but I think that that would actually make the lens bigger and heavier. So I'm fine with them staying with a 1.8 if they could make it lighter and give me, 2 more linear focusing motors. I think that that would be the best thing to have in a version 2. And then the last thing, and I know that this is maybe kind of a pipe dream, but I would like the focus hole buttons. There's 2 of them on the 135G Master. I would like them to be able to be programmed independently. I think that would be pretty amazing. So those are my thoughts on what a version 2 would look like. Let's get into this photo shoot from yesterday, and let's start off with some video that I shot.
I do love that photo. I'm a little worried about people being like, ew, her hip.
I don't think people are going to worry about that.
Yeah, I don't think people are looking at that.
But again, that's with the 135. It's a really good photo, right?
Yeah.
So really good video, right? And so that video was taken with the 135 on the A7 IV. And so you really get to see the focusing motors, really performing there. Especially the one part of the video where I had Tess, sort of walk towards the camera. The 135 never lost focus there. I mean, it tracked her the whole way. And just, for video at 1.8, being able to just lock in that focus. I don't even know if I had the tracking locked on, but those focusing motors, the ability of the A7 IV, the ability of that 4-year-old lens to keep up with those sophisticated focusing algorithms, is just a testament to the true, engineering of this 4-year-old lens. And so I hope you guys like that video. All right, but I really do want to get into a couple photos, just 3 photos really quickly. We'll start with this photo first. And so right away, you can tell the 185 is just, man, the subject separation from the background. The bokeh is not too busy. Again, talk about sharpness and just, critical focus. This is at 200%. Look at that. Even if we wanted to, go in a little bit further, you can tell that it's just tack sharp. And maybe some people don't like this much sharpness in their photos, but when you ask me, if I'm going to pay, $1,800, $2,000 for a lens, I want that sharpness. And it's just a beautiful image. When some people will say that, I could get this same image with, a Sigma, or I can get the same image with even a Rokinon. I know I said that we wouldn't talk about it, again in this video, but the fact of the matter is that, yes, the photo is the final destination, but the journey to get here, man, I can tell you, this is not me being in my bag. This is just me having the camera, me, knowing how to use the camera, and then having the 85. Tess is doing the heavy lifting here, no doubt. But those focusing motors on that lens, everything, the ability for that lens to operate at its best when it's attached to a Sony camera, all of those things, all of that, the journey to get here to this photo, it's just everything that you pay for with this lens. I do want to talk about 2 other photos. Here's another one. Again, just a beautiful, beautiful photo. Separation. The bokeh back there, not super busy. When we zoom in here, again, no noise. I don't remember what the settings were here. Again, we're super zoomed in here. You guys can see tack sharp. Focus is just right there on the eyes. Some people might say that maybe it focused on her eyelashes. No one's viewing this at 200%. You know, here's the viewing angle. Here's what people's looking at. This is the photo that people are looking at. And I do want to just get into one more photo. So the thing that I wanted to talk about with focus and it being tack sharp, and all of the things that you hear people talk about when they're talking about lenses, when they're talking about why you pay for lenses. All right, so here's Tess, and here's her blue eyes. And if you have ever used a 135, you understand the distance I would have had to be from her in order to get this frame. But what I really want to focus on is that even as far away as I was, you can see me in her eyes. That's how tack sharp this focus is on this lens. And I just wanted to point that out. I am extremely happy with this lens. And if someone were to ask me like, hey, Jamil, do you think I should buy this lens in 2024? It's a resounding yes. I don't think that you should wait for a generation 2. In fact, I'm not even sure that I need Sony to make a generation 2. Let's get into some cons of this lens real quickly. And there's 3 things that I think I would count as cons to this lens. First one is that it's still pretty expensive. I don't think it's more expensive than what you would expect for a G Master. If you were gonna buy it brand new, it's still like $2,000. But I don't think that you should be buying this lens new in 2024. I think if you, in fact, I'm looking at it right now. If you go on to Adorama, you can get this lens for $1,234. That's hard to see, but you guys can kind of see it. I don't want to mess with the exposure here on the camera. So that's con number 1, is that it's still an expensive lens. But as I said, it's a G Master. I think you expect to pay, and you may even be a little surprised by that price, considering that brand new it's $2,000. The second major con is that it is a heavy lens for people who, want lighter lenses for their, mirrorless systems. And then the last con is that you need a lot of space to be able to shoot, 135. One of the things that people talk about often is that with a 135, you feel kind of disconnected from your talent, just because you have to be so far away. And there's no way around that. You either have the space or you don't. And so that's been one of the biggest reasons that I think people have kind of shied away from the 135. It's just the amount of space needed to be able to shoot at 135. Who is this lens for? Everybody. Some people might chalk this lens up as a portrait lens. Some people might chalk this lens up as just an event lens. But me, when I think about all of my lenses, this 24, my 20mm, my 50, my 35, all of my primes, you guys have heard me talk about this before. As I, seek out to become a better street photographer, I'm shooting all of my focal lengths. As I go out and shoot street, as I go out and shoot cityscapes, as I go out and shoot landscapes, I want to know, what everything looks like at every focal length. And so I think I would challenge you to get out of the mind frame of like, oh, this lens is for this specific reason. I did a whole video on street photography with the 135. I'll link that video too if you guys want to see that. This was a long video. It got longer than I wanted it to. But if you watched all the way till here, put, throw me a do sign down in the comments. And I'll be sure to reach out to you. I appreciate everyone who stays here if you enjoyed this video, if you enjoy videos like this, long-term reviews, let me know down in the comments, and I'll do a lot more of these. It takes a lot of time. There's a lot of shooting involved, and so there's a lot of editing involved. I don't know if you saw, it's 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm still working, but I love it. I love it. So let me know, and then, yeah, I won't take up any more of your time. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.